Monday, episode 26 this time around. As always, my name is Ryan. With me is Alan. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Good. As always, you can find all of our episodes at columbuscomicscorner.podbean.com and on iTunes as well, where you can subscribe, rate, and review us. We greatly appreciate that if you have the time. You can also follow us on Twitter at Comics Corner Pod. We also have a website, which is columbuscomicscorner.tumblr.com as well. And we also are proud members of the Comics Podcast Network. And don't forget, we are a spoilers podcast, so if you have not read what's in the show notes, hit pause, come back, or if you want to hear our thoughts before going out and buy the books, go ahead and stick around. We always appreciate it. But yes, last week was a very busy week, and this week is also a very busy and hectic week. But we did skip on the news last week that was released, so I figured we would go ahead and touch on it this time around, and that is New Mutants return along with some X Factor members. No quotes. No quotes. A new limited series entitled New Mutants Dead Souls has been announced from writer Matthew Rosenberg and artist Adam T. Gorham, with covers by Ryan Stegman. In New Mutants Dead Souls, former New Mutants Karma will bring together Magic, Wolfsbane, Strong Guy, Boom Boom, and Richter to combat a supernatural threat, but Karma may be hiding a dark secret as well. Each issue will focus on every different member of the new team, and that should be interesting. It is unknown if New Mutants Dead Soul is one of the upcoming X-Men series teased in X-Men Blue number 13, which I actually doubt it. And they all go on to say New Mutants Dead Souls will begin in March and will run for 6 issues. So a little mini-series for our New Mutants who just happen to be coming back around the time the movie's coming out. What are your thoughts on that?
You just said my thoughts on that. With a movie coming out, it makes sense to refresh people or to educate people on who the New Mutants are. Mm-hmm. And I just want to say it's going to be awesome to see Boom Boom and Wolfsbane back.
So, yeah, I'm excited for the team. I wish it was ongoing. It's kind of odd that we are getting a lot of mini-series right now opposed to some of the ongoing series. Maybe Marvel just doesn't want to take that step necessarily. Who knows? Who knows what's going on there? But I'm excited for this, though. I'm a fan of Matthew Rosenberg because he's doing that Secret Warriors right now, what we have been covering. And I've read some of his other stuff as well. So I'm pretty excited for this. Again, I just wish it was a longer. But I definitely understand why they're doing it, with the movie coming out as well. Hopefully, people will pick it up after. I mean, that's what they always try and do. Who knows if that is ever successful? Having people right after the movie, or at least maybe a day or two after the movie, go straight to the comic book store, grab all the new mutants they can. Maybe this will happen for this movie. With this movie, I should say.
Quite possibly, but I mean, miniseries are a good way to test the water. So. Oh, yeah. It's been a while. Maybe we're going to test the water and see if this brings people to the movies, and then turn if this brings people into the shops to pick up the book.
To the book, yep, exactly. And they probably they have 3 miniseries announced so far. All have something to do with movies as well. I mean, Gambit's movie, who knows what's ever going to happen with that. But the other one, Legion, he has his show coming back, so it makes sense as well. But yeah, we will definitely see. But yeah, that is all the news that we had. I actually didn't get a chance, unless you saw anything X-Men related before we got on.
No, I didn't see anything that I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, there was kind of movie related. Did you see the Phoenix promo they did?
No, I did not see the Phoenix promo, and it's kind of funny you said that, because I did think about something, but I want to wait until there's more information about this. But it's funny you say that, because it is something that involves movies that I'm waiting for a little bit more information on to bring up. But
yeah.
Phoenix promo. We'll see. Yeah, Phoenix promo though.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yes.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk about this Phoenix promo. I have not seen the Phoenix promo.
It was just a picture of Sophie Gray kind of on fire with the Phoenix flames around her. Nothing more of like a teaser, just image type deal. But I think Marvel tweeted out like a short animation of it, just like the flames. So I'm sure.
Oh, so like a GIF or something.
Yeah, a GIF. So they're probably working up on some trailer soon, I'm sure. I mean, with New Mutants coming out, they probably will place the trailer before New Mutants, hands down.
Yeah, I would think that they want to have something before then. Matter of fact, they should. Aren't they done with the movie? They should be done with that movie.
I think
by
they
now.
are done. Yeah, they're probably in just post-production stuff at this, because I think that shot before New Mutants. I mean, I can't imagine New Mutants took that long to film either. You got one stage.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Oh, you found it? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right. I want to wait and see what happens. I'm still iffy on the X-Men movies after First Class. Not First Class, excuse me. Days of Future Past. First Class and Days of Future Past.
You mean Apocalypse?
I do not mean Apocalypse. Ooh.
Well, if anything, that should have been the one that really made you iffy. Was that one, because at least Days of Future Past was pretty entertaining.
Oh, and that's what I meant to say. Sorry, thank you. It was, yes, Apocalypse was iffy. One of my favorite two before that. Last two good ones were First Class and
First Class. Yes, agreed. I think we agree 100%.
Oh yes. But with that being said, we'll probably definitely touch on that when we probably get some new trailers. I think we're getting a New Mutants trailer soon. Oh, speaking of which, did you see the homage they did with an AC/DC cover and the New Mutants?
No.
Oh, you should look that up while we're talking. It's pretty cool, and I think that was what sparked a trailer release date. I think I could be wrong, but it was a really cool image. I retweeted it on our Twitter page. But other than that, though, while you're looking for that, we're going to move on to our first book of the evening. And what is that, Danger?
Astonishing X-Men number 6. Written by Charles Xavier, with art from Mike Del Mundo and Marco D. Alfonso, with letterer Clayton Cowles.
After believing himself to have total victory, the Shadow King lets his concentration slip, which allows Professor X to take the killing blow. After freeing the controlled X-Men, we find out that Professor X has taken over Phantom X.
So first thing I do want to comment on is the art. I am a fan of Mike Del Mundo. I really am. But his style in this book this issue did not work for me.
No,
it didn't have the same impact as the rest of the issues have, because it's more of like your more normal comic book feel with like the action being portrayed through the art as well and the emotions. This all just kind of felt like a gloss painting, and it really, it's going to take my score down, unfortunately, because I think this was a wrong decision to have Del Mundo on this issue. How did you feel going into it?
Definitely agreed with that comment about the art. I think one thing I've said since the beginning of Astonishing is that there should have been one artist who was assigned to take care of all the scenes.
At least the first 6 issues.
I think that the art would have done better had this just been in the astral plane. I really think that it would have been better to have a set artist do everything in the regular world and then have your rotating artist for the astral plane. If that had been the case, I could have lived with this art all the way through the book if it had just been in the astral plane only.
And yeah, I'm really torn because I'm not a big fan of it being in the astral plane either. But there were moments that worked when it was Marco Del Alfonso, who did some of the colors like towards the end. But even then, it was just still like Rob put it in a good way. It was still too Disney animation cell feel. And by the way,
it does have a
speaking of Rob, happy birthday, Rob. His birthday was like 2 days ago.
Oh, happy birthday, Rob.
Happy birthday, Rob.
Having an astonishing birthday.
Yes.
I think that's a great way to put it, because I don't like cell animation. There was a craze for a couple years where like a lot of video games had cell animation in it, and I hated it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe I'm looking at this and it does remind me so much of cell animation.
Yeah. Just some of it, like a lot of the contours on Shadow King, it was all pretty weird. But I just wanted to touch on that because unfortunately that really did take me out of the issue for a little bit. But overall, this was an interesting issue. This is really I couldn't wait to talk to you about it because it kind of felt like it held my hand all the way through.
That it did.
It was very convenient. Essentially, Shadow King, he was torn, between doing so many things outside the astral plane. That's what kind of gave Xavier that way through.
So
it was kind of cut short. It felt.
What you're basically halfway saying, without getting into the ending yet, you're kind of saying that we called this ending not too long ago, because both of us made a comment about him stretching himself too thin and becoming weaker by actually trying to do all these things and control all these things at one time. And that maybe Professor X was playing possum and waiting for the opportunity to strike because he was stretching himself so thin.
Oh yeah, he definitely the pieces fell into play here for Xavier in this issue. Like he mapped everything out for us, even threw some shade at some of the other X-Men.
Some minus
Phantom X, Mystique, and Rogue. They were like his babies. Like, they're the only ones that could ever do this in the astral plane. Like, you know.
Let you know right now.
But he was I got a weird vibe from Xavier. He came off very creepy. I'm wondering if he is corrupted. Still, like, something does not seem right. Well, what were some of your overall thoughts before we dive in more?
I was getting the same vibe that Professor X seems a little off, and I was also wondering if maybe, because he talks about it in this issue, and then I don't know if it was the last issue or the one before, where he explains how him and the Shadow King have been battling in the astral plane
for like centuries.
But he talks about how. But if you remember, he talks about how they've been doing this for like years, and there's been hundreds of years, and in this book he says centuries.
Yeah.
So obviously we know time passes differently in the astral plane.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever's been like, 5 years or whatever since Professor X died in the regular continuity, in the astral plane, that's centuries. So it made me wonder, like, maybe he has been corrupted for being there for so long. Maybe being there and doing all these different scenarios with the Shadow King has actually corrupted Professor X.
Yeah, it has to be.
Which
at least
his
soul, at least.
Yeah.
That was one thing I had to remember when I was reading this. We are dealing with his soul opposed to his actual body. But
yeah,
we'll get into
we're getting to the body pretty soon.
Pretty soon. What else was on my mind?
Archangel,
yes, we did see a little bit of him. It was cool to see a lot of it focused in the astral plane, but the snidbit we got of Psylocke and Archangel kind of called back to what they had planned originally. Like, he was going to hold the balance, or she was going to hold the balance between the two. That way he didn't turn. But yeah, there's a lot. Because again, most of it does focus on the astral plane. But even with your BAMF, like, if you think about it, there wasn't a lot to this issue. It literally just ended to end, it felt like.
It was everything that I said in my BAMF, and then there were maybe the threat of nukes involved, which kind of has, like, I mean...
maybe some of my problems... Oh, go ahead.
Mm-hmm. No, I was going to say maybe that's what Archangel was there for, because at the end he sent after the nukes to stop the nukes.
Right, and Xavier does say at one point, everyone has their role. And when we got to that part, I was like, oh, yeah, you're right, Xavier. Everyone does have their role.
Yeah. And we found out what Phantom X's role really was.
Yeah, we can go ahead and dive into Phantom X.
So, as I said, my band, Professor X is back, and when I say back, he has a new body, namely Phantom X, and we finally get to see Phantom X's face. I don't ever recall seeing his face under that mask. Ever since I've seen Phantom X, he has always had that mask on.
Yeah, and
so,
because I've been reading the current, not current, but old Uncanny X-Force, and even then you see his mouth. So you don't really... I don't think you ever see his face in that run. Or at least where I'm up to on Volume 3. Yeah, Phantom X. It's going by X. That was a weird scene. It was a weird scene. While it was good, we needed more of it. I didn't feel like it was... I know I say this a lot. I don't feel like it was earned. Like, it was off to me for some reason.
It definitely was off. Here we are at this issue, and we know that this is what was a 12-issue series, and we know that they're basically splitting it between two arcs, and this was the end of the first arc. So it feels like they wrapped up, or they rushed in what should have been another issue, Like, it seems like there should have been 2 issues to wrap this arc up. It should have been this issue and the next issue,
right,
to wrap this up, and they crammed it all into one issue.
Yeah, what I was going to say earlier actually was maybe like a lot of my problems that I have with this issue will be fixed with Act 2. Hopefully extending this out, because I don't want to put too much blame on this, but I thought this was a little bit of a down issue from what we had so far.
Yeah, we've been on cloud 9. We on every issue of Astonishing. I think this is the first one where we're both kind of like, I mean, it was decent,
and it also begs the question: if this was Xavier's plan to, like, you know, spread Shadow King's poison in order to get himself out and cause all this mayhem, like, something's not right about this Phantom X and X thing. Something's off. Even with because when he comes back, the dialogue bubble is still black opposed to white. So that begs the question: was some corrupted? Also, at one point, Shadow King mentions, I'm not sure if he was just referring to Xavier, but he says I had an extra help, a dark soul or something along those lines.
Yeah, he talks about some kind of lost dark power, which I think is what's going to come into Act 2.
Act 2, possibly. Unless he was referring to Xavier. Who knows? There's a lot to dissect.
I didn't take it as him referring to Xavier. I took it as just what he said, some kind of lost dark power. But if you're going to go that route, makes me wonder if maybe there's still some onslaught left inside Professor. And maybe that was the dark power he was talking about, because onslaught was unnecessarily powerful, and he could have. If he could have tapped into that power, man, wow.
Off topic, real quick. Spoiler for Doctor Strange. I know you don't read it, Alan, but Sentry came back.
I already know. I already know Sentry came back. I was about to say Sentry's back. Yeah,
Sentry is back.
Talk about unnecessarily powerful people.
Right. But yeah, there's a lot to go in here. Even again, some of the art was cool to see. But also when it was a cool moment to see Xavier kind of get out of the wheelchair all heaven-like and with his white armor and stab.
Yeah, I was geeked when I saw the white armor, because since this started, I talked about when they battled and he had on that armor.
Right.
And I did like that whole section where he's putting his actual plan in motion. He's like, oh, he's got his mind over here and he's not concentrating on me, so now I can finally break the chains. And that whole little scene I did like that scene.
Oh yeah, it was cool. And just to dissect this again, another weird observation: when he does stab Shadow King, Xavier says this was never a game, Farouk, not to me, and Farouk says you lie. So who knows? That could come into play. I may just be overanalyzing this. Because again, there's a lot to take from this, and we get some of the Ministry of Defense. I'm not too kind of bored with their storyline. That kind of lost me, unfortunately.
Yes, we're gonna drop nukes. Oh no, we're bad people. Oh, let's drop nukes anyway.
But yeah, and Phantom X. Well, he's going by X now. So
yes, X. So he's not Xavier, he's not Phantom X, he's just X.
Yeah, there's just no time to soak in the transformation. I think that's why it feels off to me. Oh, and also, just one of my biggest nitpicks is when the old off-panel discussion, and that's what we also got in here, because Phantom X is like, we talked about it. Like, oh, did you now? But again, maybe Act 2 can fix some of these things, I hope. Moving forward, but yeah. Got anything else? Any other moments that stood out to you?
No, we literally covered all the moments that stood out for me. Just to see what happens in Act 2. Let's see what goes on with X. Even though, did you notice he strangely looks like Professor X a little bit?
Yeah, I stared at it for a while. Just to make sure I wasn't playing it. It's kind of in in the forehead area, in the eyes a little bit. Yeah.
What? I just hope they don't play the route like, oh yeah, he was always a clone of Professor X. Don't put it past them. Do not put that past them.
Yep, I called him retconning Phantom X. And this is It's a big old retcon.
Well, we saw them starting to retcon him in the one issue when he actually talked to Professor X. Like we saw it start to happen there, and then they finish it up here
quickly.
Yes, quickly.
Oh man, but that one part when Xavier is saying hold nothing back, and like the black ooze all over his face. That was pretty evil looking.
So would you say that they retcon X?
Ew.
I hope you enjoy that one. That's for you.
But yeah, you got anything else on this? Or you want to go ahead and score this?
Let's go ahead and score. I'm really interested to see what your score is on this.
Yeah, same here. Well, I'm here, yours obviously, but I'm gonna go with the 7. I'm sticking with the 7 still. It's still better than the other 2 books that we're gonna be talking about. But yeah, there was just some. Again, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt that Act 2 should extend some of these scenes and flush some of this stuff out, hopefully.
Uh-huh.
And the art did not work for me.
Oh boy.
Are we right on the money?
That is, yeah. I was going to go for 7 from before we even started talking about this. I knew I wanted a 7.
Yeah, I couldn't go lower. I definitely couldn't go lower. But I'm glad we're on the same page. And because again, we never talk about this before we get on air, so I'm always just like, I wonder what he thought about this issue.
And it's funny too because my score is for the exact same reason that your score was this week. Like there's no in between or there's no differences in the reason why I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah, I had a feeling we might be on the same page.
Oh yeah, but we've been. This is one of those few books where we've kind of been on the same page for the most part through the whole run. Like our scores for the first all the issues before this haven't been too far off. Like there may be half a point, a fraction of a point off, but it's always around the same ballpark area. Oh, astonishing!
Oh, I gotta. Oh man, I'm gonna have to go dig down some points before we get off of this book because there's only 16 physical pages in this issue.
You didn't notice that, like the 3 splash pages. You didn't notice that.
I noticed the splash pages, but still 16.
You didn't notice, but you didn't notice there were like 3 of them though.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're right. I'm looking at them on the Marvel app.
Yeah, that's the reason though, is because we're getting like there's literally like 3, maybe 4 splash, but I think it's 3 though. Yeah, there's 3 splash pages.
Man, I just wish
of the fight between.
I just wish they would have done the Mike Del Mundo art. Just did not work. Just did not work. But cool, yeah, I'm gonna stick with the 7. You guys stick with the 7 as well?
Yep, I'm sticking with 7.
Cool. All right, what are we talking about next, Danger?
Iceman number 8, written by Sina Grace, with art from Robert Gill and Rochelle Rosenberg, with letterer Joe Sabino.
A forced family reunion showing how fucked up his parents truly are. Bobby and Bobby talk boyfriend troubles. The issue solidifies that Deacon is from Earth -65, and him and Zach are in the movie Goof Troops. Hey, at least Marvel let Sina Grace use Pyro. Welcome to Bobby's world.
Well, what an issue. I'm gonna get some hate from you for this one, but I actually think this was one of the slightly better issues of Iceman so far.
Okay.
Yes, the reunion was forced, but the reunion I thought was funny. It was kind of sort of what I was expecting, but not exactly what I was expecting, with them wanting the whole like do over with their son now because hey, got a younger version of our son, we can do it over and do it right this time.
Yeah, I had a feeling that was I saw that coming. I was like, yeah, I see where this is going.
Too. I did too. I was hoping it wasn't gonna go there when I first heard that these two were that he was gonna meet the parents, and then when they started doing it, I was kind of like, oh boy. But this is one of the few times that I enjoyed the conversation or the fact that older Bobby, OG Bobby, stood up for younger Bobby. Like his little speech that he gave about like where he was talking about how they didn't stop to consider what he wanted at that age. It doesn't matter if it's me from a different universe or if it's him from a different universe. You're not considering that at that age. That's not where my mind was at, and that's not. You're not going to change who somebody is just because it's a younger version of them.
Mm-hmm.
I did kind of enjoy the throwaway Baker line. That was kind of funny a little bit when he told young Bobby, like, I know what the dream was at that age, and it was to be a baker. Enjoy seeing Pyro. Yay, Pyro's back, I guess.
Pyro. They let him use Pyro. That's good.
They let him use Pyro, yeah. And, of course, you know how I feel about the whole Dakin situation. I mean, it's been bothering me. And
it's bothering me.
It's still bothering me. It bothers me more now.
Yeah,
Is that weird? Is that weird that I'm bothered more now?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So I just want to know what it is about. Anytime the young X-Men show up in any book, it appears that there's like a different version of somebody showing up from another universe.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have me sound like the jerk now. It sounds like you liked it a little bit more than me.
I did like it a little bit more. Like I said, the Dakin thing, it let me breathe a little easy, but at the same time made me mad a little bit. And the whole bonding thing at the end between the two Bobbies, I thought was pretty cool. The way the book actually ended was funny with I can't remember his name, the older Bobby's boyfriend showing up out of nowhere and Colossus tackling him.
Colossus tackled him. Yeah, I wish that would have worked for me.
It got a slight chuckle out of me. I kind of laughed a little bit when I saw it.
But the way it ends, though, it just
that's the issue I have.
Yeah, because it just shows up. You just see Dakin there out of nowhere. We've seen him throughout the issue so far, but yeah, now he's in New York for whatever odd reason. Okay, I'm going to sound like the jerk, but for me, it's still containing the trend of each character kind of has the same voice, and the way the dialogue, Bobby's dialogue is atrocious at times. Atrocious. When will we ever hear Bobby say woke? Woke.
Now I need to stop.
Okay, hold on.
I got hold on. I got
negative 65. Altogether.
I gotta stop you because right now it seems like you're assuming because I liked his speech that I enjoyed his dialogue throughout this book. No. Don't get me wrong, my friend. I liked his speech. That's what I liked was the speech, which is one scene in the middle of the book. That was it. Everything else was still, like you just said, the same voice from everybody. Yeah. It was just what was going on around with everybody that I found interesting about the book. That's why I said it was better. Not dialogue wise. Definitely not dialogue wise. Just the fact that we're actually seeing stuff going on in this book now, and it's not 100% on the fact that Iceman is gay.
No, I'll give you that. I mean, I still think it all kind of surrounds that.
The dinner scene did, but the dinner scene I think handled it better than the other scenes in the other issues.
I'll give you that. I was at least like, okay, Cena Grace is trying to do something here. While it does not work for me, unfortunately, I see where he is attempting to go. And Bobby's shirt annoyed me. OG Bobby's shirt annoyed me.
Yes, you didn't have to say anymore. I knew exactly what you were talking about. That shirt, man.
Because it has for anyone who hasn't read this, it has the Omega symbol like stitched in on it, and it's he wore it the whole time. Like, really? Yeah, it's, too on the nose, guy. Come on, man. Come on.
And then he makes a comment about it later in the book.
Yeah.
When he tells Young Bible, like, oh, that's an Omega level mutant in the making.
And why was this a number 1 of 1? Why is this a 1 of 1? When it ends with Dakin, and nothing's truly resolved in this issue for it to be considered a 1 of 1.
There is two. It was Iceman versus Iceman. All right, they resolved the issue of the two Icemen. I guess having an issue with each other. That's funny. Yeah. I didn't even realize this said part 1 of 1.
Code Red. This issue is probably going to be ending soon. Or this series, I mean, is probably going to be ending soon, unfortunately.
Hey,
like, why?
Let's do
If
it.
it's gonna be a 1-of-1, why not deal with Pyro the whole time? Like, is that dinner what we've been leading up to this whole time for a one shot?
Yeah, especially with the they had the throwaway line like you come back from the dead and this is what you do. Kind of feel like you could have done more with that. They could have had it could have been a whole issue with Iceman or Iceman versus Pyro.
Yeah. And every time I saw Bobby's mom talk, I couldn't help but think of the Venture Brothers' wife, the evil wife.
Oh man. Wow.
Because she kind of looks like Bobby a little bit. Like, his features. Kind of looks like a dude.
It's funny because I hate to do this, but whenever I saw the mom talk, I thought of Granny Good.
Oh, geez.
I was just waiting for a boom to open up and like some people from up.
There's our crossover right there.
There's your crossover. That would have made this way bigger. This whole time, Granny Good's trying to recruit young Iceman.
Oh, we didn't even touch on Zach and the Saturday morning cartoon characters. Fucking robbing people. What is that? What is that subplot, and why is that going? Why is that plot going anywhere? Please tell me why, Alan. Why is that plot going anywhere?
I'm going to assume that this is their way of trying to, I guess, establish some kind of nostalgia for those of us who would remember that. I don't know. I'm trying to make sense of something that makes no sense.
Yeah, man, that's all I really have, though. I don't want to keep just bashing this, but yeah. I mean, I don't know. I really had no foundation leading up to this dinner. That's a one shot. That makes no sense. Marvel, why would you stamp this as a one shot when it's been a continuing story? What's your score?
Oh boy. I'm going to go 5. Right. While I did enjoy this more than the other issues of Iceman, it was still an issue of Iceman.
Alright, and tell me why there's a Mike Deodato cover and he's not doing interiors. Come on now. With Rochelle Rosenberg on there? Come on.
In order to get people like us to give this book more of a chance, and also in order to give it a higher rating. I mean, if you'd have been walking through the store and you didn't know any better and you saw that cover, you'd be like, oh, the Iceman looks awesome now. And then you would have got the book and like, oh, what happened? What's going on here?
I'm going to drop this off at half price.
Ooh, get rid of this ASAP.
For Iceman versus Iceman Part 1-of-1, I'm going to give it a 1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's one of the lowest scores ever on this show. I think we've had a score lower than that, but that's one of the lowest.
Yeah, I think Rob said once if he can go negative, he would. I would go negative, or 65 if I could. But yeah, this is not good. I don't think it's just for me. I don't think it's for me. I just don't think it's well written at all. There's just a lot of issues going on with this comic. Yeah. So, got anything else though before we move on?
No. Let's go ahead and move on.
And what are we talking about next, Danger?
X-Men Gold number 17, written by Mark Guggenheim, with art from Ken Lashley and Juan Fernandez, with letterer Corey Petit.
Armor Inc., Colossus, Storm, and Old Man Logan get a lift into the negative zone with some help from Reed Richards, Blue Marvel, and Forge. There they end up in the middle of a war zone and obviously don't choose the side of the space Nazis. Rachel's in a coma again, and if you read this issue, you probably saw the Nightcrawler bit coming. A reminder, Kologoth just wanted to go home to his hubby.
Oh boy, so we're here. We're finally in the negative zone.
Quickly. Very, very fast.
Very, very quickly. We start this issue off and the team's already basically there. I mean, yeah, we get a shot of the Triskelion, which I know you probably got something to say about that.
Yeah, I'm just not even gonna let it eat me up.
You don't even care now. Now you don't even care anymore, right?
Continuity is always out the water with these books.
Yeah, but for the most part, we basically start and they're like on their way there, and it takes them like no time to get there.
Yeah, I mean, I do like going on with that. I kind of wish this does suffer from pacing, especially this being like a longer arc from what Guggenheim has portrayed it as. I would have liked to maybe settle in with the characters, before entering Armageddon, because they mentioned Forge building these suits and Blue Marvel on the scene with some Reed Richards specs to help out. Let's get some of that conversation. Let's see how these suits are built. Get some more character interactions before we go ship the team off so quickly. But that's one of my issues with this issue. But what's some of your other overall thoughts, though?
Well, that would have been great to see. Hey, Forge finds these specs. Reed Richards did these. Let's build these suits and kind of get an idea of what they do. Let's put together the team that's going to try to go to the negative zone and explain why each person was picked. Because was it me, or were you wondering why Ink was even there? Like, I understand.
Yeah.
Eventually, why he was there. But weren't you kind of like, really? Like, wouldn't you have liked that scene, the conversation of them going through the mansion, like, we need another mutant, we need someone who's a psychic.
And if you think about the only way...
can't do it, let's get Ink.
Right, and the only reason Armor got there was because she was kind of just standing by when Logan crashed.
Yeah, at the end of the last issue, she just happened to be standing. Armor's there because she woke Wolverine up. Old Man Logan in the last issue. That's why she's there.
Did you say she woke him up? But yeah, this was very kind of predictable to me. What were you gonna say?
Well, no, yeah, kind of predictable. Can we agree that Rachel's probably gonna wake up in the next issue because she can feel Nightcrawler is in danger again? Can we agree that that's probably what's gonna happen with Rachel?
Yeah, easily. And it's kind of funny, like the parallel between the two relationships on this team. Both are on opposite sides of, Rachel is in a coma again. Nightcrawler is oh my god, he is in a side of a statue. Rachel, or not Rachel.
Well, he ends up in the side of a statue.
Ends up in the side, and then Kitty is trapped, and then you have Colossus on the outside making his way there to battle for his love. So yeah, something big is going to go on between those two seeds, I think, and obviously, Rachel's going to wake up, and it's going to be the same thing that happened last time, but maybe another twist. I don't know.
Do you know what kind of bothered me? And I hate this when I do this stuff, but this is going to mess with your score probably later on. When they went to the negative zone, right? Would it have been nice to have some kind of explanation on how they knew exactly where to go when they get to the negative zone?
Yeah, because
they go to the negative zone and they instantly end up on the right planet. Like it's instantly the correct planet.
The correct, yeah. Because even Blue Marvel is like, because I think they try to explain it, but like Logan cuts them off or something like that. But even then, they really don't. Blue Marvel doesn't explain how. Again, that comes from. We needed more time before going to this negative zone, and like you said, they literally somehow landed on the planet that they needed to.
You're right. I'm looking at the spot where he does say, I think Old Man Logan didn't want to hear anything. He was so mad that he was in a costume again.
Costumes are okay, I guess.
Well, I'm just saying, that was his whole thing in the beginning of the book, was he was so upset. First of all, he was mad at the end of the book that they got destroyed like that, pretty much. And then he was mad in the beginning of his book because he swore he would never wear a costume. He's back in a costume again.
Mm-hmm. I think, going back to, not to play like script doctor, but if they would have, the cliffhanger should have been them landing when we see the first ships. And then if the next issue could have been, boom, we pick up right where they end up in that war zone. That way we would have had time to maybe build up to this before... just
you didn't want to end with you didn't want the Nightcrawler cliffhanger?
That shit was. I saw that coming a mile away. I was like, come on.
I don't know if you realize this. Nightcrawler might be dead.
He's not dead.
or paralyzed. Nightcrawler's gonna be paralyzed.
The negative zone's gonna whip him back in some weird way. Probably. There's a reason why I think Old Man Logan cut off Blue Marvel when he was talking about the negative zone, and I think maybe that's hinting at something's gonna some sort of transformation is going to occur between one or two of these characters. Wild theory.
My money's on Rachel and Nightcrawler.
But yeah, I saw that coming a mile away. I was, yep, he's going to try it. Yep, it's not going to work out for him. And to end it with that, I don't know. It didn't work for me.
But they are on the correct planet, and they find the resistance to Space Hitler, and yeah, that's really it. You know, they're gonna go in and rescue their team, and
Storm looked great.
I kind of don't see how there was the discussion of we shouldn't do this.
You mean them saying that?
Yeah, because if you remember when they did the psychic link, which is the only reason Ink was there. Ink is the only reason he made it there is because they needed a psychic that could do a link. Because they pretty much explained that's the best his powers are going to be able to do, is to link everybody. But Storm, like him and Old Man Logan and Storm had that conversation, and she's like, this planet's in Civil War. We can't really take sides just because one side has our friends. Speaking, and while I'm saying that, is it me or is that like the first thing that Storm has actually said or done in the last few issues that sounds like Storm?
Yeah, she had that one moment last issue, that very, very brief moment. But even then, I don't think...
That's the thing, though. Storm gets so few moments and any moment is like, how long ago was it when she actually did or said something?
And honestly, even
or sounded like a leader.
Armor and Storm don't really get much to do. They're kind of like pushed to the side. I felt this is definitely alpha issue, and what Armor at one point she forms into her armor, and the only thing she says is, "Okay, so I'll just wait here, I guess." I mean, I guess you are gonna wait there and have boring dialogue in the Gold book. So maybe
this issue,
maybe we'll see more of them.
This issue is about Old Man Logan featuring Colossus and the other guys.
Yeah, essentially. And
that's exactly what this is, because those are the two characters that have the most. Those are the two characters that have the most out the book.
And then we have Kologoth, Space Healer, who can't really make up his mind if he wants to keep the mutants, give them away. I don't know.
I hate to say, but that part actually made sense to me. That first, when he's talking to Kitty, he's like, because she says, like, we tried to communicate with you, and she's like, yeah, but how long were you going to leave me in that cell?
He makes a good point. He's like, make a good point.
The conversation you had was a very good point. He's like, I'm going to leave you in that cell, then I'm going to show you exactly what you guys are going to do to me. So it made sense at first for him to be like, I'm just going to leave these guys locked up and let them rot away. That made sense. And then when they found out that the X-Men were there, it also made sense for him to do a 180 and be like, listen, give them back their friends. That way they'll go home and leave me alone, and I can go ahead and conquer this planet.
Yeah, we know that's not going to happen.
Oh, it's not going to happen. But it made sense to me I laughed when he did it, because I was like, yeah, and he changed his tune like real fast. But it made sense in the context of he knows good and well what mutants and what Earthlings are capable of. So why even risk it?
Yeah,
he wants to rule this planet. Why even risk it? Just give them back their friends.
That's all he wanted to do.
Tell them to go home.
He just wanted to go home.
He wanted to get back to his bay.
And with Nightcrawler now, I wonder why couldn't he hold out? How long was he in the cell for? Well, if it was a day, come on, Nightcrawler, you can't hold out for more than a day, my dude.
It's because of the story he tells in there when he talks about when he was locked up before about Doom, and he's been in that situation a couple of times where he's been locked up somewhere, and they realize like if he can't see where he's going, he can't really teleport.
Yeah.
So and I think the last time he was, say what?
It was just so predictable.
It was, because I think the last time he was locked up like that, he was in there for a while and he was tortured. So I think he's like,
I ain't got time for that.
Let's not go through that again.
I will say, like, I did enjoy the art. Again, Storm looked great. I love all the, even though I'm not a big fan of the costumes, I still like the way that Ken Lashley and the colors are working with a lot of the reflections. I don't know, that just stood out to me for one reason or another. But yeah,
I'm with you there. I like the
seat.
art except for Oldman Logan.
Yeah, the women really do play a back seat in this issue, though.
Yeah.
They really get nothing. And why not have Forge and Blue Marvel conversation? Come on, like, have some fun, man.
Why not reestablish to these newer readers who Forge and Blue Marvel are? Why not reestablish some? That's why it doesn't make sense for them not to let people play with these different characters and really show us who these characters are. I mean, there's people who might pick this book up and have no idea who Forge is, and it would have been great to have, even if it was a couple panels of Forge being Forge.
Right. Yeah.
We hint at Reed Richards. Let's do a little bit more. Let's have them say, like, yeah, you know, Reed Richards is one of the greatest people, one of the smartest minds to ever exist, and he created a whole bunch of stuff. You know, just give us a little bit for those.
Just like a rundown of his specs for this. Like, that would have been really cool. Like,
that's what I meant, though.
Aspect in there.
That's what I'm saying would have been cool in the first place. Would have had been actually showing him find the specs and talk about what they are and what it does, what the suits can do.
Right.
Oh, you know, these suits can actually compensate for the pressure of the gravitational pull when you go to the negative zone, and they actually have a way of insulating. Or like the biggest thing they talked about was the fact that they had the universal translators built into the suits.
Yeah,
that was the biggest thing they talked about the suit.
I
think
Star
that
Trek.
was the only thing they wanted to highlight.
There's a couple Star Trek and Star Wars kind of references I picked up throughout this. There was
reverse the flow of the neutron.
Yes, that and the balance when Kolgoth was talking. So we need to restore the balance.
Restore the balance of the Force.
Yeah, what else? But yeah, that does really, it kind of goes into the whole pacing issue that I still have. Like, they're really rushing to the fireworks, and, you know, it's really not deserved.
That kind of seems to be the theme lately, is let's have them rush to the fireworks. Let's get the boom boom out the way. Let's get to the boom boom. When I say boom boom, I don't mean the new mutant boom boom. I just mean.
But yeah, I just don't think this was this series is starting to. I wanted to like this arc, but it is losing me fast. Like, if you go back to the name of the first arc, Back to Basics, like, you know, it really is going back to that sort of basic storytelling without a basic X-Men team. If you think about it.
Yeah.
But what else? You got anything else on this, really?
Oh no, my friend. The only thing I need is your rating.
Before I go into my rating, I do have a couple more things.
Okay.
So in the back, I took Anthony's advice and I started reading the letters page. And I found out that Mark Guggenheim turned in a 17-issue outline as of this issue for the next 17 issues of Gold. So hopefully, with Phase 2 coming up, maybe he can revamp this series. But that is a 17-issue outline. Man, I'm worried. I'm worried I won't continue to like this.
I think that's commendable to outline the next 17 issues.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that could honestly go either way. I would hope that, like what you said, you know, you could take those 17 issues and turn this around.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. We'll see. I think I'll give my score on that, because I know we do have Phase 2 coming up, so of the Marvel X-Men universe. Funny how they're calling it Phase 2.
Indeed.
But I'm going to give this a 5. And the art is saving it for me. Ken Lashley came through for me with the Juan Fernandez on the art as well. But other than that, the story is losing me, and you know, I'm seeing everything unfold. And by the end of this, we'll probably be able to predict what happens. So, and it's just not interesting to me, unfortunately. But yeah, I'm going to stick with a 5. How about you, man?
We are exactly lining up with this. This was definitely a 5 issue. I don't know. I just see what's going to happen with, I'm guessing, like I said, Nightcrawler and Rachel is probably where this is going to be headed as far as the big thing that happens in the negative zone.
See, we're already calling it. We know it's coming. Like, there's no...
Yeah, we're calling now.
No trick, no
I told you it's going to be... I told you, I think she's going to wake up, even though she's all extra hurt. She's going to wake up because she can feel Nightcrawler is hurt and practically dying, and she's going to morph to the negative zone and just do something crazy.
And what are the odds that they would, put their most powerful mutant on this team out of commission while this is occurring? Rachel could have stopped this in like a second. Like, I hate when they do that. Like, they do that a lot with the Suicide Squad book. They'll knock out Enchantress for the arc so that she comes back in the end. So it's we can see that this is coming already.
I'm just wondering if by any chance, given what's going on, if Rachel is going to tap into the Phoenix Force.
Yeah, that seems to be the end.
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that right there. We know Phoenix is coming back. We know Jean is coming back, and I'm wondering if Rachel is going to be responsible for that, because that I told you when Rachel first came here, that was basically her abilities she was the Phoenix.
Right. We will see.
So
we'll definitely see, my friend.
We will see, my friend.
Yes. All right, cool. Other than that, so we both gave it a 5. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back with our Fastball tweets and close out the show. Everyone, for some Fastball tweets. And if you want to join the Fastball tweet thread, you can do so every new comic book day around 12 p.m. Eastern, or 12 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on our Twitter, which is at Comics Corner Pod. It'll be the pinned tweet up until probably Saturday evening or Sunday morning. Usually Saturday evening, though. But yeah, just get in your thoughts by then. We'll definitely read them on air. If you aren't on Twitter, you want to email us, you can do so by just doing it at columbuscomicscorner@gmail.com, and we'll take them that way as well. Let's go ahead and get into our first one. Brett X at Mutant Madman. Pretty huge turn of events in Astonishing, which is really going to shake up a certain character, being Phantom X, now that we've talked about it. And I don't mind saying that Mark Guggenheim is really hitting his stride with the Negative Zone War. Definitely a huge turn of events for Astonishing. Someone in the X family called it last time we talked about it. Hey, and it actually happened. The way it happened, I'm still iffy about. There's still a lot of questions. There's something we're missing, and we have, I think he has something up his sleeve to come for Astonishing with Act 2. As far as Guggenheim, again, I'm not feeling it. I'm glad it is working for people, and we'll hear that later on as well with some other books. But yes, what are your thoughts on that, man?
Yeah, pretty big shake up for the most part for Astonishing.
And it still begs the question.
Professor X.
Yeah, it still begs the question how many years in the future this is from what we're reading right now. Which is one of the things we've been wondering about for a while. Mm-hmm.
Was been, what is this taking place?
Yep, but yeah, as far as Negative Zone War, I want something more from it. It just hasn't brought me in yet. There are just some issues with the writing that it just doesn't. It feels too basic for me, I guess. And I know the first arc was called Back to Basics, so going back to basics, but I don't know. We kind of feel the same way on the Negative Zone War, if I'm correct, or if you have a different opinion.
No, we kind of feel the same way. I'm waiting to see where this could possibly go. I mean, this does have a chance to turn around, but as of right now,
all right. But thank you for that, as always, Brett X. It's been a while, so thank you. And our next one is from our favorite man, Brandon J. Griffin at Griff Funk. The art from Wade, I love this one. The artist from Wade's pre-Legacy Avengers run fits better in Astonishing's Astral Plane story. Major bombshell at the end. The Googs is finally formed now, and now that he's gotten his feet under him, Gold may end up being the best X book after all. Boom. The reason why I love this one is because I was talking to Trevitt earlier in the week, and I was like, his Mike Del Mundo's art works for the Avengers, or what Mark Waid was doing before Legacy happened, and I meant to go back and look for it, but I gave Avengers number 9 a 10 out of 10, I'm pretty sure, because Mike Del Mundo was on that. It was just a different form of storytelling, and it really did work a lot better. So I'm really glad that Brandon did point that out, so I'm glad we're on the same page with that. As far as Googs, though, yeah, I don't know. That worked for me. That's saying a lot. Might be the next best X book after all. That's bold. That's bold, my friend. I hope it is the case in the end.
He said that's bold.
Maybe it is the case in the end, though. And we're when Goop wraps everything up, we were looking at it in the wrong light, and it all comes back. Who knows?
That's one of the things about storytelling is you can get to a certain part in storytelling and it'll seem weird and awkward and out of place. But once you have context, or once you get to a different further point in the story, then things can make total sense, and that can actually like make something that you didn't like initially something that you enjoyed because you have context for it now. Hopefully, maybe that will be the case here. It'll be something that we're kind of like, oh, right now, and then we're get a little bit further ahead and like, oh,
yeah. I mean, now this makes sense. 17 issue outline, if that actually goes through, he sticks with it. We'll see what he brings. But did you ever read any of the Avengers with Mark Waid and Mike Del Mundo when he was doing stuff with them together?
No.
Okay, I can't remember. I don't think we covered the Avengers 2.1 issue, I think, which is actually funny because the issue that I'm pretty sure I gave a 10. Remember Avenger X that was introduced? I'm not sure if you actually read. If you read all the .1s, there was like... Did you read...
I didn't. I only read like 3 of those issues.
Okay, yeah, the issue that I gave a 10 had a character he introduced in one of the .1s. But yeah, definitely agree with you, Brandon. It's so funny that you did mention that. But you got anything else on that?
No.
Cool. Our next one, thank you, Brandon. Our next one is from Dan Petrosky at Petrosky42. Regarding Gold, so in each issue of this arc, X-Men get their own way when these baddies just want X-Men just want to get in their own way when these baddies just want to be left alone. They unwittingly kidnap Kitty and Kurt while just trying to leave. It's gonna be hard not to laugh. Then plan on releasing them, but Kurt teleports into a mountain. I can get into the theme of I can get into the theme of fight for justice whenever this is injustice. But this is irony. Guggenheim is going for I just don't know. X-Men just come off as amateurs, even recklessly busting down the blue people's temples. And man, oh man, Dan is on the same page with us this week.
Yeah, it's funny. Because when we talked about it, I mean, as we essentially talked about, is the fact that, true, he's Space Hitler, but he just wanted to go home.
Yeah, that's all.
And even in that issue, like, they talked about, like, they weren't really attacking or anything, and the X-Men went to, like, 11.
But yeah. It
went to 0 and 11.
Full defense mode at 11, yeah.
Full defense / attack mode in, like, 2 seconds. Like, Space Hitler, let's go. Like, that's exactly how it happened.
Rough start.
So in a way, rough start. Yeah. So in a way, you're kind of like setup is key. It's funny though because he even talks about I just wanted to leave. I was just trying to leave. Had they not jumped the gun, they wouldn't have inadvertently kidnapped. As a matter of fact, they didn't even really kidnap them. They were leaving. And Kitty and Nightcrawler just got stuck on the ship. If they had not attacked, that wouldn't have happened.
Oh man, yeah, we don't. Yeah, I really don't have much to say. I laughed when I read this one when putting it on my notes. I laughed at that one. So thank you for that, Dan. I needed that. Thank you. And our next one is from Mark at Not Mark Walsh. If I had to read one single Marvel book, it would absolutely be Astonishing, without a doubt. Yeah, there's some good Marvel books out there right now. Some are ending. This will be ending soon enough, unfortunately. But yeah, I would of all of them, it's hard to say. I think I would choose, if I had just jumped on with this issue, I don't think I would say Astonishing is my favorite Marvel book, because this is kind of a downer issue for me, but still better than everything else this week.
Think I have to sit with you. I think even with the ups/downs, I think that Astonishing was the strongest book.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the best book in Marvel. Excuse me, at Marvel right now.
Not with this issue. No.
But cool. You got anything else on that one?
Nope.
All right, thank you, Mark. And our next one is from Adriana Moria at Adria Maru. I believe I'm pronouncing that right. This week's titles of X-Men are not remotely interesting to me, and I'm a longtime fan. And yeah, that's rough to hear, man. I don't blame you, obviously, with...
kind of hurts.
Yeah, I don't blame you with Iceman and Gold, because yeah, they're rough. They're rough to read through. And even with Astonishing, we've been loving it up until... I mean, I still like it, but I can't say I loved this issue. This was, again, downer issue for me, unfortunately, but I partially agree with you. How about you, man?
I can't all the way agree. I have to partially too. This was kind of a rough week. One of our books that we love so much was not quite what it's been delivering. And the other book, Gold, kind of has a weird premise and setup for the story that we're supposed to be invested in right now.
Yes.
And then Iceman, like even though I said during our review that it was probably one of my the better issues of Iceman that I enjoyed.
Mm-hmm.
That's not really saying a lot, though. Like, I mean, if I had the option to go back and not buy the book, I would go back and not buy the book still.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a weird week. This week of X-Men books.
We'll get into next week in a little bit.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and thank you for that, Adrian, excuse me. And then our next one is Marvelman616 at Marvelman616. X-Men Gold was a lot of fun. I like seeing Armor and Ink as part of the rescue team. That's pretty much all we got, unfortunately. I'm into where the story is going. Nice cameo by Blue Marvel. I love the story in Astonishing X-Men number 6. On the art. Very interested to see where this storyline goes. Iceman was my favorite of the X-Men books this week. I like the fight scene with Pyro. Old Bobby and Young Bobby have such great chemistry, and it's very personal and character-driven story. So yeah, a lot to dive in on this one. As far as Armor and Ink go, yeah, it's cool to see him. We don't really get we get a very short explanation why Ink's there, Psychic Link, because Rachel's out for the time being. We really don't get to see much of them yet. Again, maybe I'll turn around. What else is Astonishing X-Men? Yeah, he agrees with us on the art this week. Downer art. Very interested, and he's still very interested to see where the storyline goes. Same here. Iceman, being his favorite. I'm glad it's working for you, and it needs to be working. I'm sure it works for people, but unfortunately, I just see a lot of flaws with it, and it's really hard to get behind, unfortunately. And Pyro, yes, Pyro, all the way Pyro. So, other than that, what are some of your thoughts, Alan?
Nice to see Pyro, of course. I said that when we reviewed Iceman. However, it's not the book for us. We review it because it's an X book. We review X books on the show, so it gets the spotlight because of that. But overall, it's not really a book that I have been enjoying. It's not a book that you've been enjoying. It's not really a book that most of the X-Men Monday family has really been enjoying.
Yeah, based on the numbers too.
Yeah, and based on the numbers, it's not a book that a lot of people are enjoying. I I don't know. At this point, I think I'm agreeing with what you said earlier. I think this is coming close to the time where they're gonna have to just call it quits with their little experiment with Iceman. Because it's going downhill, and that's saying a lot because it started off downhill. It found another hill to go down. That's like amazing. Hill.
Oh damn. Oh damn. Damn indeed. But yeah, hey, at least people are enjoying it. Glad the positivity is out there, though. You got anything else on his thoughts, though?
No. No. I'm sorry, Iceman.
I know.
Iceman.
Oh, Iceman. But thank you for that, Marble Man 616. Our next one is from Jonathan Williamson at #1 X-Men 14. Astonishing had me screaming like I can't still believe it. Or I can't even believe it still. And Iceman has been fun too. Very personal and grounded. I will say Iceman is grounded. It is grounded. We can say that. I wish Astonishing X-Men had me screaming this issue. I really do. I've been screaming. I still had a lot of fun reviewing it because we still talk theories about what could be coming. So there's still a lot to discuss there. But yeah, I wasn't screaming for this one, unfortunately.
I was screaming all right. I was screaming, trying to figure out some of the decisions that were being made. And I was definitely screaming when I saw the end, the reveal.
Yes. Oh, yeah, I wish I wasn't screaming.
But it wasn't what the reaction that I got the last few weeks reading the other issues of Astonishing. That where I was turning the page like, oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Yeah, because they tried to seed it in there, it just didn't fit. Like it kind of at that point of the book for me, kind of started to fall out of place just to get to the cliffhanger. Just didn't feel right for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah, what you said earlier, you said you didn't feel it was earned.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Had you led up to that cliffhanger a little bit differently, you could have felt like, okay, that is a deserved ending, and wow, that was amazing.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, well, it's funny, we're on the same page pretty much. I think I know you gave Iceman a higher score than me, but we would have
yeah. But even then, we're both still in the ballpark. That it really wasn't a good book. You just thought it was way more terrible than I did.
Way more terrible. All right, and thank you for that, Jonathan. And our next one is from Partisan Cantina, at Partisan Cantina, our buddy Andrew in Belfast. And thanks for sending yours in, man. I thought Astonishing was just that, astonishing, excuse me. Very intrigued by Xavier's new look, quote unquote. Loving this series. Yeah, definitely a quote unquote new look. That's what I came out of this issue. Something right here.
Something's not quite right.
Yep, someone's got some tricks up their sleeves. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But it was still astonishing. That was an astonishing move to take.
Yeah. I mean, it took a lot of guts to attempt that.
Yeah. I'll say it again, we still have Act 2 to solve a lot of our issues, I think. So we'll see how they play it out for sure. You got anything else on that one?
No.
All right. Then our last one is from Mr. Anthony. He wants to always send his in just in the nick of time.
Of course. He's got it down. That's his mutant ability. His mutant ability is to get these in right at the nick of time.
With his psychic link. Boom. All right. And our last one. Astonishing was great. Loved how the reveal played out and excited to see where this goes. The art was very different, but fitting for the content involved. Archangel cliffhanger. Yeah, he kind of had a bit of a mild cliffhanger, but the show was stolen obviously by X. So maybe they can correct that too. Maybe Archangel will get some earned time.
Well, his cliffhanger was, I'm going to stop the nukes. Cliffhanger.
Boom. But he does go on to say, Gold. Still really enjoying the path it's on. Ink was more exciting than I could have imagined. Awesome Colossus assist. Art-wise, I have to say this was very dynamic and a creative display. It was action-packed and a lot of fun. A+ on the art. Nightcrawler cliffhanger. Saw a mile away. Again, I did enjoy the art a lot. I wouldn't necessarily go to give a A+, even though I did took most of the presents in my score. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm glad people are digging Gold. It's not really working for us just yet, but we'll see. We will definitely see. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, we said good enough. The art was good enough. I have my one issue with the art, which was the way they decided to do Old Man Logan's face.
Yeah, he's never looked right this entire issue or this series. Besides, some of the Mojo stuff was okay.
Well, they're like trying to make him look too much like a badger or something. They're trying to make him look like a literal Wolverine. He looks like John from All New Wolverine. Like they're going too far that route.
Yeah.
But the art's pretty good. We've agreed on that. With exception of Old Man Logan. I think me and you are more, like you said, we're more anticipating where this is going to go. I think that there are elements in play that could be amazing. But then I think we're at the point where we need to wait and see.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I don't want to jump on it too. Yeah, I don't want to jump on it right now. I'm like, oh, this is going to be amazing. Like they set this up. I want to say, okay, they set this up. Let me wait and see how this sprouts and this grows, and I can say, okay, those seeds they planted paid off.
Yeah, maybe the next issue will see a lot of this sprouting, because I think we'll only have 3 issues now left. Depending on how long it goes, I believe it was like 5 or 6 issues this arc was going to be. So we'll see how he plays it out.
Let's see how that plays out. But when it comes to the other team book, Astonishing, yeah, I can see where there's some excitement with some of the things done. I mean, but I think had we not sat on this show and called certain things happening, then maybe it would have been a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's cool that we like called it, but maybe we should always be wrong. I think it's more fun to be wrong, but theorize.
That's exactly what I was about to get at. Is that there's been a couple of times we've called stuff and been wrong, and it's gone a different way, and we love that. And then there's been a couple of times that we've called some things that seem like, well, fan fiction. It'd be awesome if they did this, but obviously they're not going to do it. And then they do it, and we're still like, oh my goodness, they did it. Case in point, Polaris, Magneto, and Danger showing up to battle. That sounded like a fan fiction idea. Didn't think they would actually do it, and they did it, and it was awesome. Okay, but I don't know. In this case, it's something we call, which we kind of figured would happen at the end of the entire series. Like I expected this to be the last issue of Astonishing X-Men, or the last 2 issues bringing back Professor X.
Yeah,
I did not expect to read the last issue
out of some sort. I could be totally wrong. Like,
yeah, I didn't expect us to read the last issue, have that conversation, and say like, they're going to bring Professor X back. Yeah, they're going to use Phantom X to do it. Yeah, and then it be the next issue. That's why I think it's throwing me and you off, is the fact that we had this conversation thinking like this is going to happen down the road, and it's literally the next issue.
Yeah, buddy. That's why we love doing this. But good stuff. That is all the Fastball tweets. Thank you, everyone, sending those in. We got a lot this week. Really cool of everyone to get those in. We always appreciate the love. Yeah, that's the end of the episode for 26. And Alan, we have a crazy week next week. All right. So I know I told you earlier we have 7 books, but I don't know if you know what's coming out. Do you?
No, you said 7 books, and I started thinking like, what could be coming out, and how did they set this up where we're doing 7 books?
All right, here we go. We got Secret Warriors number 10.
Oh, okay.
Despicable Deadpool number 289. I believe these numbers may be off because
okay.
But the numbers at least. We have Cable 153.
I'm seeing how this is possible now. I'm starting to see it now.
Cable 153. Weapon X number 12. All New Wolverine number 28. Jean Grey number 10. X-Men Blue number 17. And probably estimated sales.
Okay.
All in all, should be a good week, I'm thinking.
Yeah, it doesn't sound. I mean, we got a bunch of books, but it sounds like they're going to be pretty interesting reads.
Yeah, I mean, we weren't a big fan of that last Deadpool. We were pretty peeved off at that one.
Yeah, but we've got other stuff to balance that out. Like, there's other stuff on that list that should balance it out.
Because Weapon X is starting the new arc. So I'm going in with high hopes. Going in. All in. But then when you get probably one of the best arcs out right now is the Orphans of X.
Yep, that's the primary book I was talking about when I said to balance it out.
Oh, yes. Jean Grey number 10, which seems like we were only getting it monthly. Now it's back to bi-weekly to get caught up for Phoenix Resurrection.
Yep.
And now also X-Men Blue continuing the 2099 arc. So yeah, there's definitely some... it's a good list to look at for sure. And we'll probably end up doing 2 sessions behind the scenes talk right now. But yeah, we'll probably end up doing like 2 sessions, I'm sure. And I think Rob's going to come on for maybe 1 or 2. I mean, with all those books, we can have everyone on each book.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's going to be a nice chunky podcast for everyone.
You get a book, and you get a book, and you get a book.
Right. So yeah, it's going to be a nice little chunky podcast. I'm sure some news will be out as well. Yeah, it'll be fun. I'm glad I got all my mandatory overtime in at work these past 2 weeks, and it didn't happen this week. Whew. Still going to be a long week, though. But yeah, thanks to everyone for listening. Alan, you got anything else before we get out of here, man?
Nah. See everybody next week. I got to save my strength and my energy for all those books next week.